Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the 2021 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology readings. These readings will be based on your Vedic Astrology ascendant or moon sign. You can listen to both to kind of get a fuller picture of the year ahead. If you don't know your Vedic Astrology ascendant or moon sign, you can Google search a free online Vedic Astrology calculator and you should be able to get those there. Make sure it says it is Vedic Astrology or Indian Astrology or Sidereal Astrology so you can get the correct signs. And they'll likely to be a sign different than your Western astrology ones, though there is a little overlap in there as well. Now, during these videos, I may reference a few of the things, the books, the decks I've created that I created to help other people learn Vedic astrology. The first one is my book, Shedding Light on Jyotisha, Vedic Astrology for Beginners, and I have a video or two on my channel where I talk about that a little bit more in depth, but the links are all down below in the description box if you're interested in checking that out. I also have a Vedic Astrology Oracle and the Vedic Astrology Study Deck, which would be a great tool to learn Vedic astrology. I also have a course, Shedding Light on Your Karma and Dharma in Vedic Astrology. It's a mini course. It's about an hour and a half long. Bunch of little videos broken up, and it's only $11. Again, the link is below if you want to check that out to start to learn how to look at your chart and look at your karma and dharma. Like, why are you here? What are you here to do? What are you here to learn? How are you here to grow? I will be hopefully soon in the new year have my next course, which I go through the nakshatras in Vedic astrology. Journey through the nakshatras is probably the title. I haven't officiated that yet. So hopefully that will be out soon or in the early part of 2021. And if you're interested in a reading for the year ahead, Vedic astrology, I also do Western astrology, tarot readings. Those you can purchase on my website. I will be reopening readings November 22nd or so. I've been closed for a while to focus on my book. So you can sign up for my newsletter to be notified or just check back to my website, juliannevictoria.com. Again, links are all below if you want to book a reading with me or schedule a recorded reading for the year ahead for you. Okay, all that being said, let's move on to your horoscope for the year ahead. The charts you will see will be charts laid out based on your ascendant or moon sign. So you, the viewer, can have a clearer understanding of where the transits are as the year begins and how that lays out for you for the year ahead. All right, thank you everyone and enjoy your reading. Hi Leo, welcome to your 2021 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology reading or horoscope. What you see here is a chart showing where the planets are as the year begins on January 1st, 2021. I've adjusted the time so that Leo is the first house, and you can listen to this again if you're a Leo ascendant or Leo moon. So this is like a blueprint, the energy entering into the new year that plays out on some level throughout the year ahead. So let's start here with the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in the sign of Capricorn. So I did make a video talking about this conjunction in general, both Western and Vedic astrology perspective, and how these energies can work together. And if you're interested in going more in depth in that, I will pin that video at the top of the comments below for you. Okay, but in general, and as I've been saying this past year in various videos, in this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn, Saturn has the upper hand. That is because Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn's very comfortable here, his strongest and most stable. I mean, Saturn's about stability, but really solid as can be in Capricorn. Jupiter, however, is debilitated in Capricorn, and because of those dynamics, the Saturn energy is much stronger, and ideally we work with the Saturn energy. And when we let Saturn have that upper hand, basically, then Jupiter's growth and expansive energy, though weakened because of debilitation, has some freedom to grow and enhance the energy of Capricorn. And for you, Leo, this is your 6th house. So 6th house is the house of work, which can be related to career, though not necessarily. Your everyday activities, your hobbies, your daily routines. I call it the chore house, the stuff we get done every day. It's also health, your health routines, health habits, and so on. And I want to point out it's also a house of service. And I feel that service energy coming up for a lot of Leos here. And I also want to say it may be service to yourself, which sounds a little strange, but I feel some Leos need this Saturnine structure to set up your daily habits, your daily routines, your weekly routines, your health routines in a way that is more conducive to productivity. Now, Saturn has been here in 2020. There's been a retrograde back and forth, but he's solidly here in Capricorn all of 2021 and through 2022. So this is a time to, in a sense, really hunker down and focus on, one, taking care of your health, and two, like your everyday habits, whatever those are for you, the individual. Now, Jupiter's energy here. So, I should also mention, so Saturn is patience, slowing down. So this can also indicate, Leos, that your daily routine needs to slow down in a structured way. Saturn does represent obstacles and challenges, and that is why he is often dreaded in astrology. But if we listen, if we take note of those challenges or obstacles that come up, and we realize that, those might come up because it's either not the right direction, not the right path or thing to do, or not the right time, or we're rushing something. If we work with that and slow down and step back and say, okay, well, I can't do that right now, or that's not working. What can I do? Then that's a way to excellently work with Saturn's energy. And when you do that, then that's where Jupiter gets this freedom to help grow and expand. And in this sense, it's something for your health, a daily routine, a hobby, service to yourself or service in the community, or potentially your work, as in work and career. So this, I do feel for Leos, can be a bit of, we'll say a challenge. You may get frustrated. I guess I'm feeling frustration energy when things just aren't flowing for you in the day-to-day. And as much as your fiery energy wants to get going, slow down, stop, take a day off. Take a day off to chill, relax, reassess, get a calendar, a date book out, and start organizing your routines. Because if it's not flowing, it's just not. It's like you got to get that in order. And that, I feel, is very much a foundation for everything else in your life this year. Now, Jupiter's energy, this is, for the start of the year. So this energy plays out in this sixth house arena the entire year, but the actual transit of Jupiter moves into Aquarius mid-April until September. And then he retros back into Capricorn until the end of November, and then he's back in Aquarius in December. Now, Saturn also rules Aquarius in Vedic astrology, though Jupiter's not debilitated here, and it's much freer. Aquarius is an air sign. It opens things up. And I will point out during the Jupiter transits, because this is your seventh house of relationship, that is a great time to potentially meet someone for those who are single and looking for a long-term partnership, especially females out there. But it does expand your closest relationships, the ones you have, so spouse, partner, best friend, business partners. That will, I want to say, will open you up. Actually open you up to other potential ways that you can be of service to others. And I say that because Aquarius is the humanitarian sign, and then Jupiter, again, as the year begins, here in this house of service. Yeah, so don't be surprised, Leo, if your life, your daily routine, or a weekly routine, or even a monthly routine start shifting towards service in some way and with a humanitarian bent on it, or for animals. And I say that because 6th house is a house of pets. Okay, see what happens there. That won't be every Leo, but see what happens. Okay, so now let's look at the nodes. So we have Rahu here, also called North Node, in Taurus in your 10th house of career, and Ketu here in your 4th house of home, family, property, in the sign of Scorpio. Now, when the nodes are on this axis, they're always opposite each other. In the Taurus-Scorpio axis, some sources say they're exalted, some say they're debilitated, others say it's Sagittarius, Gemini. So I see the nodes, because they're the karmic axis, as very strong wherever they are in a natal chart or transit-wise. And this is like a transit chart for a year ahead. Though there may be a little bit of extra strength in this position. Okay, that being said, also, every time, and I think it's been every time, and it's been 15 years or no, 20, yeah, 15 years that I've been doing readings for clients, professional reading for other people. Every time, I'm pretty sure I've seen the nodes on this 4th and 10th house axis, whatever someone's chart, transiting this position, there has been some sort of shift between work, career, and home life. It can go either way. And that could be like your work has changed, so it's changed where you live, or you decide to work from home and that shifted your career. I mean, there's many ways that this can play out. But to get a little more specific, with Rahu here, the head of the snake, ambition, motivation, the drive is towards your career, towards enhancing your career. Now, it is a sign of Taurus, which is very earthy, and earth signs are great for 10th house matters because its career is very much a material, earthy thing. I feel there's tons of growth potential for your career path, and you're ambitious on your career path, Leo, whatever your career path is. That implies that if your career has been hampered in any way because of 2020, the pandemic, or personal things in the past, that there's going to be a big boost or much more energy and, we'll say, growth in your career path. But you're driven, like there's ambition for your career. Now, Ketu, in the natal chart, Ketu represents past karma, past lives, the past, spiritual seeking. What I've been feeling for all these 2021 readings with the Ketu energy, that it's strongly speaking to the past of 2020. And what we have learned from the social distancing, the separation, any losses, and what we've moved away from. Now, with this in your 4th house, in that sense, what I'm feeling for you is you're ready to get out of the house. You're like the cat that's been waiting to get out and play in the garden. Even if, you've still been going to work, just the overall global energy of 2020 with the pandemic is just this feeling of isolation and loss, and you can't connect, you can't be out there as much as you normally would, and for some people, not at all. So it's like, I want to say, I know this isn't the correct meaning, but what just popped into my head is letting the cat out of the bag. So take with that what it means for you. I mean, literally, it doesn't usually mean literally like let the cat out because you want to get outside, but that's what I'm feeling. But letting the cat out of the bag is also revealing something. So that may have some special meaning for some Leos out there, but it would likely be revealing something, maybe in home or to your family, but that's to help the growth and ambition of your career, the nodal axis here. So it is possible also, looking at the year ahead, that K2 in this position means you're going to move home or leave home or move away from family. like the family you grew up from, to pursue your career. So that may play out for some Leos as well. Now with Ketu here in the 4th house, we have Venus. Venus represents, of course, people think of love, but she is really creativity, the arts, music, beautiful voice, luxury, nice things. She does rule Taurus, so that brings an extra secondary connection between these two houses. And what I want to say to you with this, drive in career in Taurus, ruled by Venus here in the 4th house, that however your career grows, and for some it may take off, it brings in material things, luxury things that you can now bring into your home, or a better home, right? If that's in combination with moving or moving away from family, and finding a more beautiful home, one that's more aesthetically pleasing to you. So any combination of all that, Leos will feel to some degree in the year ahead. And of course, the details depend on how this lays on your own natal chart and the planets in your natal chart and how these transits are affecting, and the drishtis and so on. Okay, let's move up here to the moon. The moon is here in her own sign of Cancer, so she's very strong as the year begins. In the 12th house of the psyche, spiritual seeking, moksha, liberation, yoga, meditation, the dream time, the collective unconscious. Moon in the 12th in general, even if not in Cancer, like this year, Leo, you're going to have some very interesting dreams. So I recommend writing them down if you're not good at remembering your dreams. Yeah, interesting dreams, maybe interesting visions if you're a meditator. But this does feel like very sleepy nighttime energy. So I feel the dreams, the dream time, or meditation at night, or even practicing your spiritual practices, whatever they may be, at night, or even early in the morning before the sun comes up, like when it's dark out. That's what I'm feeling here. Is going to open you up to insights and access to your own psyche in ways that you haven't before. So see what comes up there. I recommend journaling it because sometimes those things are hard to remember after the fact. So very interesting. And I also feel it can lead to enhanced intuition and psychic abilities. Okay. Let's move over here to the sun, your ruler, Leo. So we have the sun and Mercury here in the 5th house in the sign of Sagittarius. The 5th house is house of creativity, children, education, like primary, secondary school. And sometimes it can connect to people being teachers for children. Yeah. So what I'm feeling with the sun here in these 2021 readings, it's also a very all-encompassing feeling across the signs, is that the sun is showing where we feel our greatest joy and happiness in the year ahead. Again, not implying that there isn't happiness in other areas of our life, but this is where we're like beaming in the year ahead. In the natal chart, the sun represents your soul, the eternal part of you. But here it's like, where's your greatest joy this year? And it's in this 5th house of creativity, which is the natural Leo house, with Leo being the 5th sign. And Leos usually, it depends on your chart, of course, tend to be very creative people, whether that's artistic creative or creative in other ways. And I feel like any creative pursuits that allow you to exhibit, or trying to think of the right word here, exemplify your personal life philosophy and possibly even your spiritual religious beliefs. And I say that because of the Sagittarius energy. They give you an opportunity, and I want to say it's a conduit for you to shine your light, and that brings you great joy. Now it's possible, because you have Rahu here in this 10th house of career, that this great joy comes from your career pursuits. And I say that because fifth house is also the house of entrepreneurship, which is interesting because that's come up in at least a third of these readings, and you're the last one I'm reading for. I don't often bring that up with fifth house, but like your own business, even if it's very small and a side business this year, is something you create. It's like a child. It's your own. It's like a baby. That's not, a physical, like a human baby, right? And so for those of you who want to do that, who want to create your own business, or you have something creative you do that you'd love to turn into a business, even if it's like just setting up an Etsy shop or something and seeing where it goes, that's going to bring you great joy and happiness. And then if it's tied in with your career, even if you have another job to pay the bills, but it's what you're hoping to become your career, this ambitious energy is going to take off. So that's really good. And then we have Mercury here conjoin the sun, and Mercury is usually very close to the sun in astrology because he's close to the sun in the sky in the astronomy. This is the intellectual mind. You're going to be smart about whatever you're creating, whatever business you're going about. If you have children, I see this as educating and teaching your own children, or if you're a teacher of kids, this applies too. That combines both intellectual things and creativity and fun. Like it becomes fun. So those parents out there who have been homeschooling and are still like homeschooling, or their kids are distance learning, like if it's been difficult, it gets easier, it's more fun, it's more creative, and both you and the child or children learn a lot. Okay. And last but not least, we have Mars over here in his own sign of Aries. So he's very strong as well. In your ninth house of spirituality, religion, philosophy, foreign travel, law, politics, government, publishing, and so on. So Mars represents action, energy, sports, activities. I will say feistiness. He is also conflict, but conflict only came up in one of the readings, actually. But in yours, I want to say feistiness. And that's the only sign that energy's come up. Feisty Martian energies in his own sign of Aries, very fired up. So this could mean like you're feeling very politically opinionated, though that doesn't feel very strong, but it can play out that way. It feels more like in your spiritual and or religious pursuits, whether you're religious or you're spiritual and more philosophical, very fired up and feisty and taking lots of action in that area. So this could be like going to church or temple or synagogue or a meditation class. It could be doing it at home as well, because Mars rules Scorpio in Vedic astrology, and that's the house of home. Really actively bringing your spiritual and or religious practices into your life. Again, likely into your home as well. In a very passionate way. And that's an excellent balance for all this career and creative and ambitious energy. That centers you, that brings you home into your body. Because career stuff is out there, it's out in the world, even if you work from home. it's extent, because you're connecting to the world, right? You want to connect to people, or you want to sell a product, or whatever it might be. This excited, passionate energy when it comes to your spiritual and religious practices is a very important piece to balance out this. So your career, your work, your creativity, whatever it is, can be more successful. If like, let's say if this element wasn't here, let's say Mars was here with Rahu, it would be very imbalanced, and there can be like too much like overbalance, like all career, all work, all that you're creating, and the other aspects of your life can get neglected. So this helps to bring you to center, to be at home in your being, to bring in that balance in your life. Okay, Leo, that is your 2021 year ahead overview. Thank you for watching. Share this with other Leos who you know. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you back here soon.